Okay, so now I'm going to formally as well address the American government in my lifetime of living with your concerns about my mental health, okay? So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk probably about 5 minutes because I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of your claims that you have a police force, that you have concerns about law, that you pretend that you have law and order. All of this ruse of law and order and concerns is all a front for idiosyncrasies to trample law underfoot by white men like Biden from top to bottom. And I'm going to tell you why. In 56 years, what I've lived through is when I've complained about abuse, I got 302'd. But when I'm getting raped by the government ordained people in front of the neighbor because you want to try to break me as a strong alpha male into a little pussy, no one's concerned about my mental health then, okay? When I've had to live through God knows how many death attempts growing up in Philly and being abused in class, I weren't worried about my mental health then when your psychiatrist tell you, APA, that it's causing mental problems. Well, you're not worried about my mental health when you're literally teaching me to be a masochist, to put up with the bullshit. Well, but then you have a mental health system, okay? But you don't care about rule of law. You don't seem to be concerned about the mental health of blacks enough to just keep your word to them, but then you claim you're worried about their mental health, okay? You people, I don't know how many, I mean, so many charges I'm laying against y'all. And you guys, you assholes are so deluded, you just keep going. You're like a runaway train full of shit and an asshole. Like, you listen and you'll trample everything people, all our complaints underfoot. Okay? It's like, living in this country is outrageous with you white men's deluded hatefulness. It's outrageous. And what the fuck is his problem? What is he complaining about? I didn't kill his ass. Just be glad you're alive, nigger. That's what y'all tell us, really. But then you're complaining, you're concerned about our mental health, okay? I mean, like, I don't, where the fuck, how do we reach you motherfuckers? What do we have to do to get into your fucking skulls to get you to at least talk to us with some sense and at least acknowledge that the law exists? Y'all act like you're the law and that everything you do in government is just a bullshit route, and we really mean is I'm the law, and fuck the deck. That's what y'all live. And then you really care about our mental health. You have a mental health system. What you're telling us, and just what I said is, even with complaints about my eyes being poked in, and all the problems I had in Philly with all the death attempts watching the murders, when you have a police chief, as I said, Frank Rizzo, who spends his career exterminating half the city's population, it's in the census, and then you lie because it's your work and say that it's an exodus to the suburbs. No, it's an exodus to death in the grave. I watched him kill the people, okay? He's a sick mass murderer, government appointed. The Masons office in Philly, you have satellites, you have military, you helped, okay? So, but then you care about somebody's mental health. Like, we're fucking stupid. So then I'm looking away from you. Like, I'm really that fucking dumb. But you really care about people's mental health? So really? So you have a mental health system. And so we're really supposed to believe that you care about mental health. When you have cops that just basically do whatever they want to do. I'm watching California. And even with the white women, as I said, being marked for death by Klansmen in front of everybody in Santa Monica, and he basically walks out, and you're like, you can't do nothing about it, but you're just done, just whatever you want. But you care about people's mental health, really. You actually have a mental health system, really. But you really care about your citizens' mental health. But you refuse to keep your word to your people, and you literally, like Tupac said, you do everything you can to make them mentally ill, and then you're such clueless, hateful asses. What the fuck is this problem, But you really care about people's mental health. Huh? You actually have a mental health system. So, and for what? Ultimately, I could go on and on with example to infinity of how hateful and how cold-hearted colorism, all these embedded antisocial mores that make our society something not, it's a contradiction. It's worse than a zero-sum total. Colorism, racism, xenophobia, the deluded white chauvinism, we live in a swimming sea of antisocial mental horseshit that makes people completely sick forever. But then you really claim you care about your people's mental health. And we're supposed to believe this shit? We're really supposed to believe you actually care about anybody's mental health? Really? Like, the insult. Like, it's something, it's called crucifixus contumeliae. As I've said before, and you'll never listen. You would have listened a long time ago. You clueless white arrogance that kings don't possess, that you just think everything revolves around you. Now, how dare he speak? He's black, but you really care about my mental health. But you discriminate against me directly and against everything your Constitution, your law, your Bible, your God says, but you care about our mental health. Really? You really care about our mental health, huh? And you expect us to believe this bullshit. You really expect anybody to believe it, okay? Really. Because you just simply want people sedated so they put up with the bullshit. And that's what you call mental health. Shut the fuck up. We'll strap you down, drug you up, and teach you to shut the fuck up and put up with the bullshit. And that's mental health, okay? It's fucked up. Deal with it. This is America. Love it or leave it. Now, that's what y'all call mental health, okay? Hateful, arrogant white people. White men specifically. Because the white woman basically just walks. She's literally the welcome mat. She's just literally she's the counterclockwise swastika you just trample all over, okay? The rest of us, we do far worse, okay? So we already know. So I'm telling you, and the gall, and the insult to your face, when it's really just being malicious, because you're just being hateful. But then you really think people believe in it? It's no one believes in anything because everything's about being hateful and domineering, crafty and hateful. But if I say so, but you're paranoid, really? I'll give you all these examples and you'll just say it anyway. Yeah, just say it anyway. So I'm like, you know what? And you wonder why people keep their mouths shut. And then when you did something like you strangled Floyd, why? Because everything has to be about you. So the people went off and just burned the country down. But you really think, you really think any of these people in this country really, they gave up long ago. They just said, forget it. You know, exactly why people are just violent, because they can't even express themselves according to the Constitution without being persecuted by the government. And then you want to tell them you can't give a fuck. They're like, we're done. We're beyond done. We're beyond done a million years ago. And none of you even give a fuck enough. As if this arrogant asshole white mentality has a country by the balls. To the point where practicing a democracy is a capital offense. It's in your documents. Freedom of speech is not a mental problem. The First Amendment is not a mental problem. It's not a sin to curse, okay? It's not against the law to use profanity, okay? It's not a hate speech, asshole. Everybody curses. It's in music. It's in videos. It's in porn. It's in the movies. So all of a sudden now, if I curse just like the movies, you play the movie. So then when I say the quotation, then you block my post. And you really think everybody's putting up with this shit. And then your government ignores it. So now I got 80 plus views for a video on YouTube because I just legally bust Biden's balls. And he clearly tells me that you're watching the video trying to find a reason to accuse me. No, we just want to make sure I'm moth rot. You're trying to accuse me of something that you know damn well is not going to happen, that I've told you a million times, because you're hateful and you're not about the Constitution and laws. It's about a personality. It's about Joe Biden. That's what you tell me. And fuck the law. Fuck holding him accountable. Okay? This is all you tell us. That's all we blacks see. Is that it's always about the white asshole and fuck everybody else, okay? But everybody wants to believe your mental health system, all y'all do is bother people to the point where they just throw the towel and give up. But you really want us to believe you care about our mental health? Really? You really think that? When you really tell us we're being hateful and spiteful, we're adding insult to insult to injury, we're going to drive you nuts and then blame you for it. Now, that's what you tell us, okay? So once again, don't come talking to me about threatening Joe Biden, okay? The hellfire videos are hellfire videos. The Bible wasn't written around Joe Biden, asshole. And God didn't write the Bible because for Joe Biden, okay? You're so damn vain. Everything is not, it's like the source of supreme sin. It's not about you. Hell is hell, whether there's a Joe Biden or not. Get over your arrogant selves, okay? Whether there's a white government, hell is hell, okay? Get over yourselves, okay, asshole? The Bible's the Bible. The writings are from Enoch. They all support the Bible. Still scripture. It ain't about you. Get over your deluded, arrogant self. You're so vain. You probably think everything I do is about you. Okay? Arrogance. All I do is live because that's what y'all do, is live to fuck us over. So your paranoia tells you he has to. Well, I want to live. I'm not an asshole like you. And I'm not full of shit. I still want to have a life. It's as if everything has to surrender because the real life we see is you're so paranoid because you're so guilty as fucking guilty that everything the people do that being victimized has to be about getting you back. So then you're just paranoid schizoids. But then you want to tell me I'm the paranoid schizoid. And I'm like, you know what? Forget it. You know? Forget it.